in the screen.
There we go. All right. So this is fiat. This is, you see the market size. You can see assets that you can deposit, and you can see a deposit APY for each of the respective assets. Okay. You can see the cost to borrow APY for each respective asset that you deposit or that you borrow. When you navigate over to your dashboard, you'll see your balance. You'll see what your collateral is made up of. You'll see what you have actively borrowed, which you can see I have a loan of 49 million USDC. And my collateral is based off of mostly USDC. I got 100 million of that. And I'm not using my fiat collateral. As you can see right here, I have the collateral turned off of this. But have pretty much a lot of fiat. You can see that I have taken out a loan of Hex, which I'm in a short on Testnet, just for shits and giggles. You can see my health factor up here. This is basically your collateralization level. This determines, how you could say how healthy your collateral level versus your borrow is. Basically, if your health factor gets below 1, you'll be posted for liquidation, and your collateral will be sold until your health factor is back at 1 or until you have no collateral left. So, you really want that to be as high as possible. But since I'm mainly just borrowing a stable coin against a stable coin, it's, my shit can be low. But typically I keep mine above 2 or 3 or 4, just to be on the safer side.
Can you walk us through like an example scenario of borrowing something or setting something up, just so people can get an idea of like how the clicky buttons work?
Yeah. So if we want to borrow some money here, I'll go borrow some. I'll go borrow some more Hex. How about that? Let's go here, and we're gonna borrow. Let's borrow 500K Hex. All right. And variable APY. So again, as more people borrow assets, the APY will naturally climb higher. For that, as more of the pool is being borrowed, I'm gonna pay a pretty hefty fine or fee to. Or interest rate to be borrowing these funds. And depending on the risk parameters, you could be paying a very hefty APY to borrow funds if the pool is maxed out, or you could be paying a very small fee in comparison for having the pool maxed out or whatever. So. Now I'm on PulseX. Well, why did I borrow Hex and why am I on PulseX now? So the cool thing about fiat is you can short Hex with fiat, because you can deposit one coin. You can deposit one coin and borrow a different coin. So, why is that useful? If I'm a hater, okay, if I'm a Hex hater, I don't like people in Hex. I think it's a scam, okay? I don't. But if I did, and say if I was Peter McCormick, okay, I would
Peter, if you're watching, this is the platform for you on PulseChain.
Exactly. Yes, this is perfect for what you want to do. So let's say I have USDC, all right, and I have a lot of it, and I want to short Hex, but I don't want to buy it. Okay, so here's what I would do. I'd go back, I'd deposit USDC, right? I deposit USDC. I would then go borrow Hex, okay. And now I have Hex in my wallet, and I'm going to naked short Hex. I'm just going to take this, click max, and sell all of it. Just like that. Bam. And
I like that Hex price, by the way.
Yeah, that's a great Hex price, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I just shorted Hex. just like that, just like that.
Yeah.
Now, this is not a leverage short or, you know, a
explain the difference between the two, leverage short, like the different kinds of shorts and longs you can do with margin.
yeah, you could call this naked shorting, kind of. So, you know, you're borrowing somebody else's hex and then you're selling it in hopes to buy back lower and then capturing the profit, right? Now, if there is unlimited losses, or, you know, if it goes up a couple of X, my USDC would then be sold for hex. So my USDC would be used to rebuy hex. So I would end up buying higher than if I were to have just bought hex and sold at any point, or you know, I would end up being a buyer instead of borrowing hex and then selling it. I would buy higher and make a new high, right? So that's the reasons why you know, Richard talks a lot about wanting to short hex and having that available, because sellers or haters, they become buyers and they buy at the worst times. And
beautiful irony.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really fun.
And so I was going to ask too. So you said, "Oh, now we're on PulseX." Can you explain, like, technically what happened? Like, why are you on PulseX now after using the Phiat platform?
Yeah. So, you know, we're on PulseChain Testnet. Phiat exists on PulseChain Testnet. You know, you can trade on here, have lots of fun doing whatever you want to do. But yeah, so I borrow on Phiat. Now I have my coins. And since this is the premier place to trade on PulseChain, this is where I can go and sell my hex. As you can see, it was $2.30, and now it's $2.22. So that was the slippage I incurred. So I did that for the chart.
Ooh, there it is.
Yep. And so now you guys can go trade against me and push the price up. And then I'm going to have to cover my ass and buy back higher. So if you guys push it up to 240, I'll probably just close the short, you know, and have to lose a little bit of USDC to rebuy that hex, you know. So, but yep. Or if you guys can just short with me, then I can just get out or just get back in before you get back in, and then I make money. So, you know,
that's a whole totally different Telegram channel, whole different thing.
Exactly. Yep.
I got a question from TV Bishop. Is there a direct bet against them?
I didn't. What was the question?
I think it was in the context of when you were doing the short. Is there a direct bet against them?
Yeah. So if you have a watchful eye and you see people depositing a stable coin or, you know, any sort of coin that they see fit, and then they're borrowing hex, and then you see them selling it, all you have to do is just go buy hex, right? So as you push the price of hex up higher, you know, the protocol notices the hex price and watches what it does. It has a VWAP, so, you know, you can look that up. It's a volume weighted average. It's basically like a TWAC, but it pays attention to bigger volume moves relative to time. So, you know, it watches what the prices do, and then it reprices their loans. So if you, if say, we're going to use me as the example, okay? Say you guys started buying up hex on testnet, okay? And you guys pushed it, I don't know, 10x. I would have to, the protocol would start to liquidate my USDC and go buy hex, and to cover the loan I took, because I didn't take the loan out in dollars. I took the loan out in hex. So it needs to rebuy those hex coins to go pay back the depositor. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to counter trade these people, the best thing to do would be to just go buy hex. Now, if you see somebody longing hex, which would look like you buying hex, okay? So let's just rebuy some hex. Let's buy 500,000 again, okay. Just for testnet purposes. So none of you liquidate me, right? All right, so now I have, once it clears, I have 500K hex. deposit. So I'm going to deposit this hex, right? Now let's imagine I don't have any other collateral, okay? So this would be like how you could long hex, right? So it's just the complete opposite of a short. And I don't, this is things that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose all of your money, okay? So don't do this unless you're, unless you think it's the bottom and you know what you're doing, or you're trying to free up cash flow. These are cool things that you can do, right? I don't suggest you do them, but they are tools in your toolbox, right? So now that I have deposited this collateral, I would then just go borrow a stable coin, right? So, and then I would just go buy hex. And then you could deposit the hex again, and now you have a levered long on hex. That's essentially what you'd be doing. It wouldn't be like a 2x. It'd be maybe like I think the max you could do is like a 1.6x or some shit like that. It wouldn't be
not 100x. Come on.
No.
Yeah, so that's the important part. I mean, yeah, like you said, people know what you're doing. Don't become a degen with this stuff. We give you the tools, but be responsible when doing this kind of leverage trading.
Yep. And so, if you did want to leverage trade, and if you don't think that my advice is any good, hey, we're building a leverage trading platform anyways. That's on chain. So you can just use that 5x, 10x, however much leverage that we have. I don't know if that's been decided yet, but when it's available, we'll be able to do all that sort of degenerate stuff over there.
Yeah. But got a question from Jerry. Will we be able to see all the shorts of other people?
So, there will be tools that you'll have where you'll probably be able to see this stuff. We also have a read-only wallet that we're building that I can't show you yet, but it's that one there's no sacrifice, there's no nothing. It's just something that we're building that's for the entire community and for other communities to see and use. But you'll probably be able to see people that have deposited their coins and that have borrowed other coins, and you can probably just track to see what they're doing. Their deposit versus their debt versus what they're holding in their wallet. You can probably figure out, okay, they shorted, they longed, they did this, they did that. You could probably trade against them. So,
you think people will be able to like a chain analysis tool for fiat to kind of figure these things out? You think that tooling will be available eventually?
Yeah. So we're building a wallet called Phatty, Phatty.
Of course.
So, yep.
Okay. Nice. I got another one. TV Bishop. TV's trying to learn some stuff today. I like it. Can I take a loan out and hex at the top of bull and repay it at the bottom of bear?
So,
or if that's not a good idea, what would be a better strategy?
So yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Now, unless you're trying to have a stop loss or something, which really, if you're borrowing hex on here, you're only able to borrow 60% of the value, right? So you're taking a 40% haircut to then get liquidated, and then you're hoping for another 90% dip to be able to get where we are now. And it's just, remember, because if you're depositing hex and then borrowing against it at the very top, your collateral will be worth less than your loan at some point, if it goes down low enough, or unless you didn't take out very much of a loan, right? So that's probably not a good idea. You're probably better off taking a loan out now near the bottom, and then you have much more freedom to repay that loan and to let it ride and to just push it off for quite a while if the bull market if it goes up a lot, right?
So that's the general strategy. Bottom at borrow, if you're going to do it, borrow at the bottom of the bear. So when it goes up, you can everything works much more smoothly and less risk. Is that general?
Yeah. So let's look at this objectively. If you buy hex at the top and then you post it as collateral for something, you're more likely to get liquidated faster than if you borrow hex at the bottom, right? I mean, so, all right, say I have 100 million hex right now, okay? And I don't know, what's that, $6 million right now? Because hex is 6 pennies.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I take a loan out for $3 million, and then say hex doubles, and it doesn't ever go back down to 6 cents, right? So now I don't have to, if I were to have to sell hex, I don't have to sell as much hex to pay back my loan. I don't have to sell 100 or 50 million hex now. I don't have to sell 25 million hex to repay my loan, right? Because the price has been doubled. Whereas if you're borrowing at the top and you have to service that debt and you don't want to lose your collateral, you're going to have to buy more hex as the price goes down. You're going to have to keep borrowing or buying more hex to make sure your position is taken care of so you don't lose all of your hex. And you're not even servicing your debt. You're just trying to cover your ass, not get liquidated, which might cause you some financial issues, right? So probably don't want to do that.
Yeah. Any other interesting features about this on testnet you want to go through?
Yeah, I mean, so the revenue sharing thing, I can show you that. So as time goes on, and you stake your fiat, you can accrue a basket of funds. Here, let me zoom in. I don't know if that's big enough.
Yeah, that looks good.
There you go. So you can see the token supply, 55 million coins, no inflation, very important. You can stake your fiat coins. So you can see right here, I have 461,000 staked currently. And you can see the fees that I've accrued, or the just the passive coins that I'm accruing as time goes on, as people are paying their loans off or borrowing funds and things like this. Claim these coins, they get deposited directly to fiat, and then they're basically already automatically counted as collateral, but it's just a passive basket of funds. And if I update this and go look at it again, you can see it's just I already have 2 Pulse, 1 Hedron, 75% of a penny. This is it's just constant. So pretty cool.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I love the demo. Slick UI. Yeah, I think a lot of people learned a lot just from seeing that. Very good.
Yep.